Hey guys, welcome to lesson 8. This is actually the last lesson in this module. So this is the end of module 1 after we go through lesson 8 here. And in the next module, I'm excited we're going to actually dig in and do some live walkthroughs and start setting up some campaigns. So before we start, digging into module 2, I want to, finish up this module by talking about a very, very important concept, which is quality score. Now, from all my years of experience with AdWords, this concept right here is it's one of the most important when it comes to running a successful AdWords campaign, but it's also one of the concepts that's harder for some people to grasp, is this quality score and how it's calculated. So I just want to spend some time talking through this in detail with you before you get started actually setting up campaigns, so that you understand what Google is actually going to be judging your ads on. So what is quality score? Well, basically quality score is an estimate of the quality, naturally, of your ads, your keywords, and your landing pages. And yes, I know landing pages are not actually in the AdWords platform, but they are a crucial part of your AdWords campaigns, and Google does look at them, and they crawl it, and they look at it, and they analyze your landing pages. That is why I'm including landing pages as part of an entire week of this course. The higher quality your ads are, it leads to lower prices and better ad positions. So quality score is such an elementary part of Google AdWords that I believe it's one of the very first things that every Google advertiser should learn and study in depth. So if you want to be successful with Google Ads, you need to know how quality score works. So please don't skip this lesson. Please learn and understand how it affects your campaign and how you can increase your quality score. So let's break down exactly how quality score works. Just as like your credit score, like everybody's got, a credit score, you probably check it on Credit Karma all the time, or however you check it. But just as everybody has a credit score, and this can affect whether or not you qualify for a loan, and it affects how high your interest rate is, well, Google Quality Score works much the same way. It affects how your PPC ads perform and how much you pay for each click. So it is literally used to determine your cost per click, and it's multiplied by your maximum bid to determine your ad rank in the ad auction process. Now, don't let that overwhelm you. We're going to talk about that in more detail. But just in a very simplified view, the keywords, the ad, and the landing page relevance, plus the user's experience, all add up together to equal your quality score for any given keyword. So again, you're going to keep hearing me say that word relevance until you're probably sick of hearing it, but it's a common theme, again, throughout everything. So you can see your quality score basically reported. It's reported on a 1 to 10 scale, and the components of it, like the expected click-through rate, the ad relevance, the landing page experience, are in the keyword analysis field of your account. So each keyword gets a quality score assigned to it on a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is the lowest score and 10 is the highest. So the more relevant that your ads and your landing pages are to the user, the more likely it is that you'll see higher quality scores. So you should obviously always be targeting a 10 out of 10 quality score. That's going to ensure that you're paying the absolute bare minimum for your click. So your cost per click will go down, and obviously it will enhance the overall profitability of your campaigns. Now, obviously and unfortunately, it's not always possible to achieve a 10 out of 10 quality score. So you might have to just be satisfied with and accept a lower score. But really, like, an alarm should go off inside your head when you reach a quality score of 6 out of 10 or lower. When I start to see quality scores of like 3 or 4 or 5 or below, I know immediately that these are not good keywords, and we typically pause them. So just so you guys have like kind of your baseline there of what you're looking for. And you know, this is just really a big part of like the secret to success here. It's just super simple. It all boils down to congruency and relevancy. So if you can master this concept, you will have a lot of success here. So basically what you're trying to do is just match the searcher's intent to an ad, and then match that ad to a landing page, and then match that with a purchase. So whatever the ad says, then the landing page literally needs to say that same thing, like very prominently somewhere on the page. But you need to be careful with the searcher's intent and really take that seriously. So like, for example, if someone uses a keyword that is clearly a like research intent type of keyword, then don't send them to a product checkout page. You know, just use common sense. If they're using a keyword that's clearly showing intent to purchase, like buy a computer online, then send them straight to a product page that has an add to cart button on it. You know, just use your common sense. And if you can master this, you'll be really, really well on your way to getting high quality scores in your account. So in most cases, a low quality score is the result of multiple factors. There's large factors, there's small factors. But for example, a perfect landing page will not save your quality score if your click-through rate is really, really low compared to your competitors. But these things that you see here displayed, these are some of the main factors that can make a really significant difference in your rating. So when it comes to quality score, these 5 things are the biggest things that you're going to want to focus on first to increase your quality score. All right, the first one, ad relevance. Ad relevance is measured through the appearance of the keyword in your ad text. It works very similar to SEO if you're familiar with SEO. And to obtain the highest ad relevance, you need to include the keyword in your ad title like we talked about in a previous lesson, and then you need to include it once in your ad description. So make sure you follow that rule to get brownie points for ad relevance. And then landing page quality is next. You need to create a relevant landing page for your ad group and campaign. There are times when we will actually create a different landing page for like different ad groups that we have. So we won't just necessarily have like a landing page for a campaign. We may have a different landing page for each ad group. And we do that to help increase relevancy. The same way that we do we create different ads for different keywords, we'll create different landing pages as well so that we can, get that congruency all the way across. Now, it won't necessarily be all that different. We might copy it and just tweak a few little things to make it a little bit more relevant. But that's a good best practice. And this will help you get the highest landing page quality score if the page contains the main keyword at least a couple of times in the text on the landing page. Now, preferably it would be in some other places throughout the website as well. You might want to put it in the meta tags and the SEO data on the back end if you can. But a lot of times when you're doing like standalone landing pages or landing pages that have pop-ups and things, they might get a little bit lower score just because Google doesn't have a whole lot else to go and look at. But just make sure that the keyword is used on the landing page, and then you'll probably be fine. The next one is historical performance. So accounts that have been active for a longer period of time will be affected by this historical performance. Obviously, if it's brand new, you're not going to get it either way. Again, it's very much like a credit score, where when you don't have any credit, it can actually negatively impact you. Same thing here, because automatically by default, Google will assign you a quality score of 6 when you first start. So it's not great. It doesn't start you out at a 10 and then you work your way backwards. It starts you out at a 6. And so you kind of have to earn Google's trust and earn Google's approval and earn those quality scores over time. So over time, if you have a historical good performance, that will really help you. But like I said, it can also negatively affect you as well. And then the final one is keyword relevancy. So basically, if you're doing a good job of organizing your account, setting your campaigns and ad groups up properly like we discussed in the beginning, you will have good keyword relevancy scores. It just means that your keywords are matched closely with your ad headline. And then click-through rate is an obvious one that we've talked about several times, is that you want to have a really good click-through rate, which is determined by how good your ad copy is, how well it's resonating with the audience, how relevant it is to the audience. All right, there are some other factors that come into play when it comes to quality score. And so I just listed a few of those here. Like loading time is one that Google takes into account. So if your loading time on your website is really slow, you will most likely get a low quality score. So please make sure that you do not have slow page load times. That can just be a real campaign killer, not just because of quality score, although that's obviously one, but those people are going to abandon. They're going to push the back button. So make sure you're testing your page download or load speeds. Also, geographic performance. Google will actually take note of how your ads are performing in different geographic areas. So for example, if your ads have a really low click-through rate in Houston, then your quality score for search queries from Houston will actually decrease. So that is taken into account as well. And then another one that's sometimes not very commonly known is historical domain performance. So your domain, like the actual primary domain that your website or your landing page is on, is also given a quality score. So if you consistently achieve high quality scores on keywords for a certain domain, then you're likely going to automatically get higher quality scores on new keywords that you add. So that's something that's kind of a little trick there that helps, it's just kind of that snowball effect, that once you start to get a good reputation, Google really does reward you for that. But this also means that if you're getting bad quality scores on a domain, that you can't just go and open a brand new account and start with a clean slate, because your quality score actually follows your domain around. So no matter if you're using a different account or not, it will be associated with your domain until you start to achieve some better results. So those are just some other factors that do come into play if you're trying to troubleshoot or think through how can you increase your quality scores. So we've talked about quality score and how it's a rating of quality and relevance. And new keywords, like I mentioned before, they automatically get added with a quality score of 6 and a value of average. You'll see that in your account for their expected click-through rate, for their ad relevance, etc. And that's because when you add a new keyword, the system just calculates that it doesn't have any information about that keyword's past performance. So it's just based on a keyword's historical performance, and it usually takes about 1 day or so for the quality score system to have enough performance data to start really setting a different quality score and evaluating it specifically for your account. Also, I just wanted to show you this diagram here and kind of explain what happens every time one of your ads competes in an auction. Adwords actually calculates real-time measurements of expected click-through rate, ad relevance, and landing page experience that together with your bid and other factors, it produces a score called ad rank. And it's this auction time ad rank, not the quality score, that estimates it's what you see in your account. And this determines where your ad appears on the page or whether or not it appears at all. So ad rank is very, very important. So basically the auction process looks something like this, where quality score is used to determine your cost per click, and it's multiplied by your maximum bid to determine your ad rank in the ad auction process. So you can see how these things are all kind of interrelated, and I know this part can sometimes be confusing, but basically at the end of the day, what I want you guys to take away is that quality score means that even if you have a really big wallet, maybe if you've got a big budget, you can't churn out poor ads and continue to advertise on Google AdWords. So you really need to think about more than just setting a high bid to gain exposure for your ads. You really have to dig deeper than that. The primary reason that Google introduced the quality score is to increase the relevance, because that enhances the searcher's experience. If everything that you come across is more relevant to the searcher, that's a better experience. And obviously, at the end of the day, that's what Google cares about the most. So it increases Google's profits. So obviously, Google is going to reward you when you can figure all this out and do a really good job at making things relevant. So I hope that all makes sense. If you guys have questions about that, please, just chat with me in the Facebook group and we can talk through it. I can draw on a whiteboard. I can explain it different ways, but I really do want you guys to get that and really let that sink in because it's so important. And just where to find your quality score. If you log in and you go to the campaigns tab, go to the place in your account where you can see the keywords. Just click on the keywords tab and you'll see like a little white speech bubble next to any keyword status, and you can see the details about that keyword's quality score. You can choose it from the columns and you can have it display right there in with your data. And again, in the next module, I'm going to be walking through all of this. I'm going to be in the platform, showing you guys around the platform, showing you guys where all this stuff is. So in module 2, I'm going to be walking you through all of that campaign setup, start to finish. I'm really excited. So that is the end of module 1. And so at this point, you guys should really have a solid understanding of what Google AdWords is, how it works, and just some of those core foundational concepts should now be starting to sink in. And those are really going to set you up for success when we start creating our campaigns in the next module. So next up, module 2, I'm going to walk you through step by step the campaign setup from start to finish. I'm going to show you how to use some awesome tools like the Google Keyword Planner and how to do keyword research. But for now, just make sure you check out the downloads available to you, and please reach out to me in the Facebook group. So I'll see you there.